Hello, welcome to the Death Penalty Information Center's weekly video podcast. I am Richard Dieter, Executive Director of the Death Penalty Information Center. Well, just this week, the Mississippi Supreme Court reversed itself and decided to allow DNA testing for an inmate named Willie Manning, whose case we had told you about before. He came within just hours of his execution on May 7th, with the court denying him DNA testing. Finally, the Justice Department intervened, sent letters saying that their expert from the FBI may have made mistakes at the trial in testifying against Mr. Manning, and so a stay was granted to stop the execution, and now the court has cleared the way for DNA testing. The ACLU just released a report this week about the debilitating effects of being put in solitary confinement. And of course, almost everyone on death row is in that condition. They are in small cells, size of a bathroom, for 22 to 23 hours a day, and it goes on for years. And it may be not just a coincidence that people coming up for execution have severe mental problems. There was a man just executed in Alabama, Andrew Lackey, the other day, who had serious mental illness and wanted his execution, fired his lawyers and waived his appeals, and he was executed. But whether that was proper or not is not reviewed, because mental illness is not a block to execution. Florida has now set another execution date for a man named John Ferguson, who thinks he's the Prince of God, who's had years of severe mental illness. The doctors in Florida are saying, well, he's sane enough for execution. There's a petition now before the U.S. Supreme Court about that case, scheduled for execution in early August. And of course, you on this video and through DPIC's website have heard of the case of Orrin Hill. His disability is what's been called mental retardation. Georgia is still pushing ahead for his execution, although it has been stayed because of Georgia's draconian lethal injection law, the secrecy around it. There's also a petition before the U.S. Supreme Court about his mental retardation. And not so much mental illness, but Ohio has an execution coming up in the next couple weeks of a man who was 18 at the time of his crime, Billy Slagle. Now, 25 years later, the state wants to execute him, and so far he has been denied clemency. Even the prosecution, the office that prosecuted his case way back at his trial, now believes that leniency would be in order, but that hasn't been offered in Ohio. So that case is coming up, and these are the people who are facing execution with what seems to be otherwise a dwindling death penalty here in the United States. Thank you for listening.